Yes.
Wow, Becky.
Becky, ready? If Becky's ready, we're ready. Is Genoa online this morning yet?
No, she's not joined yet. Oh, she's coming into the room now.
Oh, good. Okay. You ready, Stephanie?
I'm ready.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. It's 9 a.m. on April 25, 2025. So I hereby call this meeting of the Oregon Government Ethics Commission to order with a gavel. There it is. Our executive director, Susan Myers, is in the Salem office along with investigators, trainers, and administrative staff. Our counsel from the Department of Justice, Sean Brady, is in the Salem office as well. As for commissioners, my name is Dave Fiscom, and I currently serve as chair of the commission, and I am in the Salem office this morning. Vice Chair Shanoa Payne is online. Commissioner Dan Mason is online. Commissioner Jonathan Thompson is in the Salem office. Commissioner Ivan Resendez Gutierrez is not able to join us today. Commissioner Elisa McCauley is online. Commissioner Rick Burke has been excused from today's meeting, and Commissioner Ann Mettler is in the Salem office. Regarding Commissioner Mettler, I want to welcome her officially to this morning to her first Ethics Commission meeting. So, Commissioner, recognize that you'll soon find that the title Commissioner may become almost your first name. But I would appreciate if you would just take a moment to introduce yourself to us. You have the floor for a moment or two. Please proceed. Tell us who you are and why you're here.
Yeah, my name is Ann Mettler. I'm happy to be here. I lived in Oregon for about 14 years, originally from Utah. I professionally have had kind of wore many hats over the years. Originally, I was a social service worker working with mentally ill adults, and I also was a victim advocate for a while, where I helped the victims of felony crimes through the court process. Took some time off to be with family for about 12 years. I have 5 kids. And then decided I wanted to go to law school. So after that, went to law school at Willamette here locally in Salem. Since law school, I've worked for the court system as a clerk for a couple of judges. Worked for a while as in-house counsel at Columbia Helicopters. And now I currently am doing my own practice work in up north in Lake Oswego. I do business transactions and estate planning. So happy to be here on the Ethics Commission, and honored to be able to serve with all of you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Welcome to your new role. We're glad you're joining us. Commissioner Mettler's appointment means we now have 8 commissioners officially on board. And the good news is that the last vacancy is in the process of being filled, though the process could not conclude officially by the date of this meeting today. The attendance roster this morning means we also have a quorum, so we will proceed as follows. The first item on the public session agenda allows for comments from the chair, so I'll make only a couple brief ones this morning, which will emphasize some of the sentiments I have shared at previous meetings. So first, if you think of ways we can consider improving our approach to public and executive sessions and preparing for both, I hope you will feel free to suggest those improvements. You'll also note later in the agenda today, when the executive makes her report to us, we'll talk about a schedule change that's pending, which will mean more Ethics Commission meetings to handle a growing list of responsibilities. By the way, I make this general comment about improved operations because in any organization, ours included, there is always room for improvement. So if you have suggestions, please find a way to make them. Second, our executive director will provide a report on the legislative session now past the halfway point here in Salem. For one thing, several of our bills, 2 or 3, perhaps 2, have moved along for us to have a chance to see passage before the end of the session. Time will tell. Our budget bill, Senate Bill 5522, also is pending and is not caught in any problem of its own making. It's just the end of the session issue about the approval of the state of Oregon biennial budget, which is all pending in regard to at least two questions, if not many more. One is the question about federal funding for Oregon, which every state that's occurring in every state, as well as issues related to the Department of Transportation and its budget, which also includes federal funding. Our director will also report on a new bill that could carry concerns for us in the public meetings law issue, though it would be difficult to move a new bill this late in the session, given the deadlines that have in some cases passed. Third, I'm going to assume each of you completed your SEI by the April 15th deadline. I did, with help from our good executive director, and you will not be surprised to know I needed help. Part of the staff effort to help all 8 or 9 of us complete those SEIs is to make sure none of us has to appear before the rest of us to testify on why we failed to comply with an ethics issue in the state of Oregon. So I'll assume you've all completed your documents by the deadline. Okay, moving on, you may have noticed that there is a relatively new addition to our agenda that allows general comments from commissioners on items not on our formal agendas. I wanted to add this so commissioners had an opportunity, if they chose to make a comment on any issue, to do so. So I'll ask this morning if there are any takers for general comments on ethics issues in Oregon. If so, now is the time. Looking for hands, and at the moment, seeing none, we'll proceed. The approach today will be fairly typical to our past approach, which is we'll handle at least one more issue on our public session agenda, the approval of minutes from the last meetings. Then we'll move into executive session to consider items in the order in which they appear on that agenda. And finally, then we'll move back into public session to complete our agenda for the day. With regard to the executive session, a couple issues. First, in a moment, I'll read the script that enables us to proceed from a statutory perspective into executive session. Secondly, as usual, technology will enable us to have an executive session with many folks online, as well as we have to be careful, have to be patient with that, because in some cases there may be a delay in moving people, especially in a virtual lobby, in and out of the session, executive session, as is appropriate. With help from Lex Tingy to my right, Lex, part of our staff, will try to manage the process as expeditiously but fairly as possible. One quick reminder, this applies to me and everybody. While we're going through executive session, let's be careful about chats that could occur person to person as we go through this agenda, because you may be surprised to know, as I was, that some cases our technology accumulates, hears those chats, and they become part of a formal record if we're not careful. So just be judicious in that regard. Anything else, Lex, from you about process?
No, I think that's good. Thank
Thank
you.
you very much. Okay, executive session. Someone is going to hand me the script.
Let's do approval of minutes first.
Oh, pardon me. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Executive. On the public session agenda, the first and only item we'll consider before executive session is the issue of approval of minutes from the March 1 and March 7th meeting. As you may know, after the last three times, we need to approve these minutes with a formal vote. So, Vice Chair, do you have a motion? First of all, any comments on the agendas that have been distributed to all of you online? Hearing and seeing none, Vice Chair.
I just have a question. Do I need to make a separate motion for each for March 1st and March 7th, or is it one motion?
One motion.
One motion is fine, Vice Chair. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I move that the commission approve the minutes for the March 1st and March 7th, 2025 commission meetings.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Colleagues, you've heard the motion. Any questions about the motion? Hearing and seeing none, the administrator will call the roll, please, on the minutes of March 1 and 7.
Commissioner Mason.
Aye.
Commissioner McCauley,
Aye.
Commissioner Thompson,
Aye.
Commissioner Payne,
Aye.
Commissioner Mettler,
Aye.
Chair Fiskum.
Aye.
Motion passed 6-0.
Thank you, colleagues. I'm assuming now that I haven't missed anything, that the time is right to move into the executive session. Have I missed anything before we so move? Okay. I'm now going to read a script that allows us to proceed statutorily in the executive session. As I've said before, the preparation of this script is it's a very good thing for us. Our staff and council have done a good job of preparing this for us on our review of the reasons for executive session. So I will now read it. Executive session script for 4/25/25. The Oregon Government Ethics Commission will now meet in an executive session to consider preliminary reviews and a separate executive session to consult with legal counsel concerning the commission's legal rights and duties with regard to current litigation or litigation likely to be filed, and to consider information or records exempt by law from public inspection. Representatives of the news media and designated staff shall be allowed to attend the executive sessions. When we enter executive session, all other members of the audience will be asked to leave the room. Everyone currently joining the meeting online and over the phone, other than representatives of the news media, will be removed from the meeting. If your case is being heard in executive session, you will need to rejoin the meeting, where you will be held in the virtual waiting room until the commission is ready to hear your case. Our staff will text you on the number you provided them to let you know when we are about to hear your case. The first executive session is being held under ORS 192.660 sub 2 sub F and ORS 244.260 sub 4, ORS 171778 sub 4, and ORS 192685 sub 1 to conduct preliminary reviews of ethics, lobby, and public meetings law complaints. Representatives of the news media are specifically directed that after the commission has made its final determinations and adjourned the executive session, they may report on their preliminary review cases, agenda items 43 to 75, including the commission's deliberations and its final determinations. ORS 244.260 sub 4 sub D sub C authorizes the commission to deliberate and make its final determinations on preliminary reviews in executive session. Following the conclusion of the meeting, the commission will publicly disclose and post the audio and video recordings of the preliminary review executive session. The second executive session, item number 76, is being held under ORS 192.660 sub 2 sub F and ORS 192.660 sub 2 sub H for the commission to consult with its legal counsel concerning its legal rights and duties with regard to current litigation or litigation likely to be filed, and to obtain confidential attorney-client privileged legal advice and consider information contained in the confidential legal memoranda, a record exempt by law from public inspection. No determinations will be made in this executive session. Representatives of the media are specifically directed that they may not report on or otherwise disclose any of the deliberations or anything said during this separate executive session. The audio and video recordings of this separate executive session will not be posted or publicly disclosed. Once both executive sessions are concluded, we will return to open session and welcome the audience back into the room. Finally, if any of the commissioners have conflicts of interest relating to any of the agenda items being heard in executive session, please make your conflict of interest disclosures now before we enter the executive sessions. Any conflict declarations, colleagues? Hearing and seeing none, and with that reading of the official script, the executive session is now open. The staff will bar the door, and the staff will deal appropriately with the virtual lobby as well as the official on-site lobby. Just parenthetically, one gentleman is here to appear before us. Our staff has counseled with him, and he knows it may be some time before he actually will be called into the official room. That said, colleagues, any questions about where we are in this process? And thank you for your patience with getting us started officially and legally. The first item.
We're not ready yet, Chair.
Thank you very much.
We will let you know just a moment.
Okay, that is the first pause in our technology processes, which we'll honor today, and I'll be prodded to honor the technology issues we face today.
Okay, 1 second. We just need to switch recordings.
No problem. Thank you for